Happy and great day, dear children. Today we are going to see the ashes that made trees bloom. Right? Shall we see the summary first? The ashes that made trees bloom. Summary of the story. Once there lived an old couple. They had a pet dog. They had no child. They loved the dogs as if it were a baby. The dog was called Muko. The kind couple fed the dog with their own forks. In return, the dog also loved them much. The old man was a farmer. Every morning, Muko followed him to his fields. A heron walked in the footsteps of old man to pick up worms. Like his master, the dog also never harmed the bird. One day, the dog put his paws against his old man's leg. He motioned with his head to some spot behind. To please his pet, the old man followed him. At a little distance from there, the dog stopped. It started scratching the ground. To help his pet, the old man struck his hoe in the earth. Now there was a pile of gold before him. So the old couple became rich. They gave a feast to their friends and helped their poor neighbors. In the same village, there lived a wicked old man and his wife. They brought the dog into their garden. They set before him good food, but the dog was afraid. He neither ate nor moved. They dragged the dog out of the doors. They walked with him. When they reached a pine tree, the dog began to scratch the ground. The wicked couple was delighted. Both of them dug the ground. What they got was a dead kitten. The couple was very angry. They killed the dog. Then they flung him into the hole they had dug. They heaped the earth over his carcass. The incident of the dog's death reached the ears of its owner. He felt so sad as if he had lost his own son. He went to the place where his pet had been buried. He mourned for a long time. He called him many dear names as if he were alive. That night he saw his dog in his dreams. The dog asked him to cut the pine tree and make a mortar from it. He also asked him to make from that wood a mill. The old man did as he was told. With much labor, he made a small bowl of the wood. Then he made a long handled hammer of wood. When the new year drew near, he decided to make some rice pastry. They put the boiled rice in the wooden mortar. The old man used the wooden hammer to pound the mass in the dough. When the pastry was ready for baking, it turned into a mass of gold coins. The old woman took the hand mill and filling it with bean sauce began to grind. The gold dropped like rain. At this moment, the envious neighbor peeped into the window. He decided to borrow the mill. The old couple readily gave their mill to the neighbor. The man began to pound the rice and the women began to grind. However, this time the pastry and sauce turned into worms. They broke the mill into pieces to use it as firewood. Right? So that's the end of summary. Now comprehension check for the first part. Why did the neighbors kill the dog? The neighbors killed the dog in anger. They have expected the dog to help them get a treasure, but the dog had rather taken them to a foul smelling dead kitten. Mark the right item. The old farmer and his wife loved the dog as if it was their own baby. When the old couple became rich, they lived comfortably and were generous towards their poor neighbors. The greedy couple borrowed the mill and the mortar to make pile of gold. Now, part 2 question answers. First question is, the old farmer is a kind person. What evidence of his kindness do you find in the first two paragraphs? In the first paragraph, it is written that the old farmer treated the dog like his own child. He will feed the dog small pieces of fish which with their own chopsticks and offer boiled rice to him as much as he wanted. The second paragraph says that to provide food to the birds, the old farmer will often turn up the surface of the ground. Both these instances proved that the old man was a kind person. What did the dog do to lead the farmer to the hidden gold? The dog came running towards the farmer. It kept his paws against his legs and with its head it kept on directing towards a spot behind him. The old man initially ignored the dog, but it kept on whining and running to and fro until the farmer followed it to the spot. How did the spirit of the dog help the farmer first? How did it help him next? The spirit of the dog came in the farmer's dream and first asked him to chop the pine tree and make mortar and hand mill out of it. With the mortar and mill, it gave the farmer heaps of gold. The dog's spirit again came in the farmer's dream for the second time and told the farmer to collect the ash of the mortar and the mill and sprinkle it on the withered trees and they will blossom. The farmer did this in front of the daimyo, the landlord, and was awarded with lavish gifts. Why did the daimyo reward the farmer but punish his neighbor for the same act? The farmer had sprinkled the ash over the withered cherry tree and it blossomed. Daimyo was pleased seeing the miracle and he rewarded the farmer. His neighbor poured the ash over the cherry tree, but nothing happened to the tree. Fine particles from the ash entered the eyes of the daimyo and his wife. They began to sneeze and cough. This spoiled the splendor of the procession, and so the neighbor was punished by man of the landlord. Now you have to read the following conversation. Ravi is saying, Ravi and Mridu. Okay, what are you doing? I'm reading a book. Who wrote it? Ruskin Bond. Where did you find it? In the library. Notice that what, who, where are question words. Questions that require information begin with question words. Some other question words are when, why, where, which, and how. Remember that what is a question word asks about acting, things, etc. Who asks about people. Which asks about people or things. Where asks about place. When asks about time. Why asks about reason or purpose. How asks about means, manner, or degree. Whose asks about position. Now you have to read the following paragraph and frame questions on the italicized phrase. Anil is in school. See school, left row, reading, the second row, sharpening, the teacher, the window. All these words are the answers that should be framed. Okay. So you have to frame the question now. Where is Anil? Which row he is sitting in? What is he doing? Where is Anil's friend sitting? What is his friend doing? Who is writing on the blackboard? What are some children doing? So these are the questions framed to the answers. Write appropriate question words in the blank spaces in the following dialogue. Neha asks, when did you get this book? So when is the answer? Yesterday morning. Why is your sister crying? Because she has lost her doll. Whose room is this? Yours or hers? It's ours. How do you go to school? We walk to the school. It is nearby. So fill in the blanks with the words given in the boxes. All these are question words. My friend lost his chemistry book. Now he doesn't know what to do and where to look for it. There are so many toys in the shop. Nina can't decide which one to buy. Why you don't know the way to my school? Ask the policeman how to get there. You should decide soon when to start building your house. Do you know how to ride a bicycle? I don't remember when and where I learned it. You should know when to talk and where to keep your mouth shut. The teacher advised Anil. Right? Now you have to add im or in the words. Right? Prefix. Impatient, improper, impossible, insensitive, insensitive, incompetent. The project appears very difficult. So very difficult. In this place you have to replace a what word? Yes, suffix. The project appears very difficult at first sight, but it can be completed if we work very hard. He lacks competence. That's why he cannot keep any job for more than a year. Don't lose patience. Your letter will come one day, the postman told me. That's not a proper remark to make under the circumstances. He appears to be without sensitivity. In fact, he is very emotional. Read the following sentences. It was a cold morning and stars still glowed in the sky. An old man was walking along a road. The words in italicized are articles a and an and are indefinite articles, and the is a definite article. A is used for singular countable nouns. An is used before a word that begins with a vowel. Okay. A boy, an actor, a mango, an apple, a university, an hour. So you have to fill the articles. There was once a play which became very successful. A famous actor was acting in it. In the play, his role was that of an aristocrat who had been imprisoned in a castle for 20 years. In the last act of the play, someone would come on the stage with a letter which he would hand over to the prisoner. Even though the aristocrat was not expected to read the letter at each performance, he always insisted that the letter be written out from beginning to end. So correct article is an apple, a banana. An apple, please. The red one in the fruit bowl. An orange. Right? The one side, the banana. Now speaking and writing, he writes both in English and Hindi. So punctuation mark, capital letter and full stop, comma, etc. Many books in English and only few short stories in Hindi. My Hindi is much better than my English. So thank you, dear. We'll continue later.